Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful round brought to you by the Sim Racers Room, SKNY Media. I'm your host, The Real High, aka Sagar Bakshi, and we are doing the Porsche Cup Challenge. And boy, oh boy, are we in for a treat today. We're at the Canadian Grand Prix, folks. We've got an amazing lineup of drivers. Let's get right over to the action and see what they're all up to right now, because the qualifying session is already underway. We've got some race details we need to process first, so without any further delay, let's get right into it, folks. As I said, we're into round two at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and this is going to be round two of the 8-round championship. Next week, we're going to be at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, Red Bull Ring, Spa-Francorchamps, the Hungaroring, Circuit Zandvoort, and then rounding things off at Monza for round 8. It's going to be a humdinger of a championship. We've got 9 drivers on track right now. Let's see the race info as well. The Porsche Cup Challenge of 2025, Season 1, Week 2 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We're at a track length of 4.361 kilometers. I still don't know what a kilometer is, but 2.710 miles. Founded in 1978. Located on the Isle Notre Dame in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. A man-made island in the St. Lawrence River. 14 corners, 8 to the right, 6 to the left, with only 17 feet or 5.2 meters of elevation change. The track was built in just under a year. If you like what you see or you want to get involved in the action, make sure you join us on Discord, Sim Racers Room, and sign up for the Porsche Cup Challenge. Keys to the race that we have are: number 1, nail your braking zone. Will be most imperative to maximize your exit. The circuit is stop-go with big braking zones into the tight chicanes. Turns 1, 8, 10, and 13. Get your braking points right, especially into turn 10. Makes or breaks your lap time and overtaking opportunities. Maximizing your exit. Exit speed over entry speed. Most of the straights follow slow corners, prioritizing strong exits from turn 2, turn 7, and especially the hairpin of turn 10 to maximize your straight line speed. Number 3, respect the walls. Of course, we have the Wall of Champions, turn 13, 14. An aggressive attack into the final chicane can make or break your run, but of course, we've seen heroes such as Nigel Mansell, Michael Schumacher go into that wall, aka the Wall of Championship. But brushing the inside curbs too hard can unsettle the car and send you into the famous wall. High risk, high reward. Number 4, balance your downforce. Making sure that you balance your downforce to be stable over the curbs through the fast change in directions through turns 3 through 4 and 8 through 9. But if you run too much wing, you'll be a sitting duck on the casino straight. Finding the right compromise is absolutely crucial here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the point standings as well very quickly. Kadim Mohammed took a big fat W at the Red Bull Ring last week of running. Then Declan Daniel, Jaden Harrison, Peter Arundel, Andrew Marsan, Mornay Duploy, Adi Nigel, Michael Ashe, Julian Narcé, Louis Benny, Benny Vaga, Joshua Brady, Deslin Van Gerp. And excuse me, we were at Imola, not at the Red Bull Ring. I apologize. But it's awfully close in the championship right now. We've got heavy hitters such as Kadim Mohammed, Peter Arundel, Adi Nigel, Monet Duploy, Yanis Constantine, new to the championship, but not new to iRacing, Louis Benny, Julian Narcé, Declan Daniel, and of course, Jaden Harrison, aka Jay, rounding out the 9 drivers participating tonight. What's going on, Kush Commander? Thank you very much for being here in the chat. Really appreciate the love and support that you're able to offer the channel. Let's take a look at the drivers already. Currently, it's Jaden Harrison with a purple sector 2 right now, or purple sector 3 as they cross the line, but I believe that was just his outlap. So finally on the flyer that he deserves, coming through the first chicane and into the second chicane. turns 3 and turns 4. Getting set up through turns 6 and 7. DRS zone indicated there, but we're not running DRS on these cars, of course. This is the Porsche Cup Challenge. Won't be seeing any rear wings plop open, plop down, or any sort of plopping around. Fixed fuel loads of 45% for these drivers as well, so we will be seeing a pit stop being taken place. Miguel sets a new personal best, 137.874, 4/10 off the good from Kadim Mohammed. Jaden Harrison, purple sector 2, fastest driver during that sector. Not necessarily his best through sector 1. And getting set up for the final chicane, the Wall of Champions is the view that we're going to see, and he might kiss the wall there. He gets narrowly so close to that wall. Does Jaden Harrison have enough fuel in the tank to go one more time? He does. And Jaden Harrison, aka Jay, with a 137.670, 271 off the good, will refuel that car and get rolling once again. Declan Daniel, though, looking to improve his personal best time with 2 green sectors, 1 through sector 1, 1 through sector 2. Kadim Mohammed, purple sector 3, 137.257 is the new bar to hit. Best Jaden Harrison's time by 4/10 of a second. Declan Daniel getting set up for turns 13 and 14 now. Underneath the Dodge Bridge he goes. Attacks the curbs, just grazes over them, not too badly there. And Declan Daniel is 12 seconds off the good currently. Where does he find himself after this run of things? Up into 5th place for Declan Daniel, not too shabby. And we've seen this driver work his way through the grid before. Not a shy one, to say the least. He works his way like a serpentine through the grid, finding every which possible way to make his way to the front pack. And we saw him do pretty well in a couple of different races here on the channel. And I'll be fortunate enough to say that I get to see him race one more time and work his way through the grid again. Should be an exciting run of things. Giannis Constantine right now, sitting in 7th place, should be able to improve their lap time at the next run of things, but not on this current lap. 137.257 is their current lap time. .8 off the good currently for Giannis Constantine. D. Mohammed still holds on to the fastest lap of the session so far, with just about 5 minutes to go in this qualifying run. It'll be all up for grabs for that front row of the grid. Kadim Mohammed, Jaden Harrison, presumably having it in the bag right now, but don't rule out a driver like Adi Nagel to thwart those attempts. Kadim Mohammed into the pits now. Aaron Dell with a 138.005, 747 off the pace. We've got 4 drivers within a second of Kadim Mohammed right now. Not too shabby of a grid. Despite the low number of participants, we are looking pretty good as far as the race being on. I expect Kadim Mohammed and Jaden Harrison to go after it wheel for wheel yet again this time running, but Adi Nagel and Peter Arundel might be able to thwart those chances, leading down in towards turn 1, potentially going for a dive up the middle there. Could best Kadim Mohammed, Jaden Harrison leave them kind of just waiting in the wings. I think any attempt to slow them down will be a welcomed one from most of the rest of the drivers on the grid. If you let them escape on lap 1, they will drive away with it, showing the pace that they currently have. Kadim Mohammed, Jaden Harrison back out on circuit. Adi Nagel, though, not back out onto the racing circuit. Curious about that. Perhaps done with their qualifying run and happy being 6/10 off the good, starting in that second row of the grid. Jaden Harrison, 139.637 will be that last lap. That'll be his out lap that he just completed. Lewis Benny looking to improve. Green through sector 1. And so is Declan Daniel looking to improve. What does he have in the pocket when he gets to the line? That'll be a 138.01. Excuse me, 138.12 for Declan Daniel. Back over to Lewis Benny as they're about to conclude their lap. Entering sector 3 right now. Coming through turn 10. Looking pretty tight. All drivers pretty much improving their lap times now that the session is about to come to a conclusion, perhaps saving a little bit of their energy for this final run of things. Kadeem Mohammed, purple through sector 1. Trying to show Jaden Harrison what he's made out of, and I think he's willing to show everybody, and that is a big send from Lewis Benny through the final chicane, carrying a ton of speed through the wall of Champions Corner. And Lewis Benny, 2.4 off the good. 139.789 will be that last lap. Jaden Harrison, purple through sector 3, but it's not good enough on that previous 137.33. 76 thousandths will separate himself from Kadeem Mohammed, as Mohammed set that purple sector one time, looking to improve one more time. Yellow through sector 2, not to find too much improvement there, but can he get a tow? Leading down into 13 and 14, carrying some extra speed and momentum into the final couple of corners. Does get a significant tow. The Wall of Champions camera doing a good job. He moves over to attack for an additional lap now. That'll be actually a 143.9 from Kadeem on that previous lap. So good through sector 1, but not good through sector 2 or sector 3. Must have slowed down after seeing the traffic, trying to back out of it. Jaden Harrison only needs a tenth or so found to get that pole position time. He may have not found any purple sectors, but improvement through sector 1 is substantial right now. Is this any sort of improvement for Jaden Harrison? It is a 137.058. Best over Kadeem Mohammed by a bit closer to 2/10 than not. D. Mohammed into the pits right now. Adding Nigel into the pits. Aaron Dell into the pits. That'll leave Declan Daniel, Monet Duploy, and Lewis Benny right now out on the racing circuit, minus Monet Duploy. As he goes back to the pits, Declan Daniel will be the last driver to cross the line. And it doesn't look like any major improvements for Declan Daniel at this time of asking. Perhaps just making a run towards the pit lane. No run to pit lane to practice those pit stops, but he is going to throw this one in the bag. Let's see, he's 165 off the good. Is there any improvement to be found? No, 137.058 will be his last lap, best lap. And that's going to conclude the qualifying session. And in just a few moments' time, we're going to get ready to set the grid and take to our race, folks. Stand by just a few moments as we get ready to start our Canadian Grand Prix, brought to you by Sim Racers Room. Good luck to you as well, Monet. Just waiting for the session to finish up before we can show the official grid and the results. Now we can show the qualifying results. Jaden Harrison leads over Kadeem Mohammed, Andy Nagel, Peter Arundel, Declan Daniel, Yanis Constantine, Monet Duploy, Louis Benny, and Julian Narcisse. We'll round out the 9 drivers here tonight. 2 Calypso Racing drivers bound to go head-to-head. Team Jesus, the Privateer, and DWR SimCoach Setups driver leads the charge. We've got 5 drivers within 1 second of each other, and we've got a best of the rest pack, starting with Yanis Constantine, Monet Duploy, Louis Benny, and Julian Narcisse. Taking a look at the grid, it'll be the same as qualifying. Jaden Harrison and Kadeem Mohammed on row 1, Adi Nagel and Peter Arundel on row 2, Declan Daniel and Yanis Constantine on row 3, and Monet Duploy and Louis Benny on row 4, Julian Narcisse on the 5th row, all by himself, unfortunately. And the lights are becoming illuminated as we take to this race start, folks. And green, 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 away we go as we lead down in towards turn 1. It looks like Jaden Harrison got a nice start this time of asking. And Peter Arundel goes the long way around the outside through the first corner into the second. He leads into 3rd place. A little bit of a battle there for Peter Arundel and Declan Daniel further back. It looks like Adi Nagel is really close to getting involved with this one. Switch over to the TV camera here and get a better view of the action. More action up ahead as the race leads on towards the first time of asking. It'll be the number 8 in front of the number 6 of Kadeem Mohammed. But right now, it's all up to Jaden Harrison to set the pace. Things have settled down a little further down the order, but let's check out Yanis Constantine as he's within 0.2 of a second from Adi Nagel out in front of him. Gotta love the Gopher Cams here at the Canadian Grand Prix, doing a great job of showcasing the speed that the drivers have. Louis Benny and Monet Duploy going into turn 10, but we have more action up ahead. Adi Nagel and Declan Daniel getting close to each other now. Or is that Yanis Constantine? That will be Constantine. And action up ahead as well, as Kadeem Mohammed and Peter Arundel are slowing each other down. And all this is happening while Jaden Harrison escaped up the road by 1.6 seconds. A little bit of squabbling amongst friends, you might say, but they're giving away the huge race lead to Jaden Harrison, who sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 2 seconds faster, and about that gap to the cars behind. Kadeem Mohammed, Peter Arundel, Declan Daniel, Adi Nagel, Yanis Constantine, Louis Benny, Monet Duploy, in that order of running for now. A little bit of a look from Yanis Constantine on Adi Nagel out in front right now. Doing a great job during this close pack racing of looking but not touching the driver in front, keeping within the rear wing, not getting too aggressive that he's going to make a mistake and run into the back of one of these drivers. It's a very challenging thing to do. Monet Duploy also looking like he wants to make a move on Louis Benny, but there it is, the move. The situation has inverted itself as Addy Miguel from Team Jesus falls backward and prey to Declan Daniel, but is trying to snap back on the run towards 13 and 14 now. Unable to do so, had to let off and avoid any sort of carnage. Let's see how he gets set up through the final chicane. Attacking the curbs ever so modestly, getting close to the wall of champions. A little bit of a wheel onto the grass during the runoff exit. Won't harm anybody. Monet Duploy really chomping at the bit right now, and Louis Benny is going to be the victim. Fastest lap of the race gets switched over to Kadeem Mohammed with a 1:37.79. Chopped out about a tenth from Jaden Harrison on that last lap. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap as it comes down. Just want to mention the license rating of these drivers. We have Jaden Harrison with a B license at 2.87 safety rating. But the IR is the most important thing that people track. 3,800 IR next to Kadeem Mohammed's 2,731. So the skill and the gap really showing its difference right now between the two drivers. But it doesn't mean that Kadeem Mohammed can't come back and try to clinch this race. Yanis Constantine, Addy Nagel, side by side. Keeping plenty of distance between each other. Until they're not, they might door bang here down the straightaway. Addy in the yellow car. Declan Daniel waiting in the wings for any opportunity to strike. Any mistakes to be made, but not on this occasion. Addy doing a good job of keeping it calm, cool, and collected for now. Although he lost position, he didn't lose two as he could have. Take a look at the timing tower on the left-hand side. The gaps have pretty much come and gone. Oh, there is a big look into the rear end. I believe that'll be Declan Daniel now, who ran into the back of... Oh, and Declan Daniel jumps out to the pits. Let's see if we can get a review of what happened there. Declan Daniel went off track. Let's see if we can get a good look at this one from a far chase camera. Oh, and that'll actually be Addy off the circuit and Declan Daniel running into him there. And that's what happened. And Declan Daniel presumably out of this race right now. Let's check out Addy's car. He must have sustained some significant damage from that side impact. D. Mohammed closes down the gap on Jaden Harrison, goes the long way around the outside at turns 2 and 3. Really trying to make this one work, and he is making this one work, dragging Aaron Dell along with him. Jaden Harrison keeping focused on the racing line, knew that the track was going to come back towards him, and it sure did. Chopped down a 2-second gap to just a couple of tenths between each other. In such momentum-driven cars, these Porsche Carrera Cups, they have to be hard to try to make any overtakes happen at some time. The Porsche 992 inline 6. Keeping it nose to tail through the wall of champions. Just about 4/10 separating each one of these drivers at the tip of the spear. The podium is officially undecided right now. And we've seen time gained and lost throughout the pit cycle as well. So this will be an interesting remaining 12 minutes of this race until we get to that pit stop cycle to see where the drivers actually end up coming out. Kadeem Mohammed during race number 1 did not have a great pit stop. Don't mean to rub that in, Kadeem, if you're watching at home. But just pointing out that he did not have a great pit stop. Perhaps he put in a little bit more practice into his pit stop this week and could potentially gain a lot of time during that cycle. We've seen some pretty good work from a lot of these drivers to get their pit stops just right. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they did practice their pit stops over and over and over again to make sure that they got them right. Kadeem Mohammed, the driver from Barbados, in P2 right now. Big undulations over the curbs through the final corner. Arundel losing touch with his battle out in front. 137.5, 137.6, 138.6. He lost about a second ahead of the leaders right now. That's Arundel, Constantine, and Adi Nagel actually closing down the gap on Peter Arundel. This is the closest battle on the racetrack currently, and the one that we're going to keep our eyes on for the remaining 10 minutes of this stint, basically. Half a second separating P1 from P2. Pretty exciting stuff here at the Sim Racers room. And Arundel really not having a good run at things right now, running in P3. He's quite a bit slower than he has been the past couple of laps. We'll keep an eye on that lap time. His fastest being a 137.9. Number 8 over the number 6. Following that, the number 5 of Arundel closing down the gap through the chicane. But not overall on the lap. The gap actually increases by 0.2 of a second as Jaden Harrison was throwing down a 137.3 compared to a 137.5 on the previous time of asking. Kadeem trying to put in the work. But Jaden Harrison's putting in qualifying pace right now. And I wonder if Jaden Harrison is actually driving on the ragged edge of his car. Let's go on board with Jaden Harrison and see how much he is working the wheel of this vehicle. It's looking pretty neat and tidy as we approach the final chicane. Puts the bike on 2 wheels. Coming down in towards turn 1, he's looking pretty neat and tidy on the racing line. A couple of quick downshifts into second gear. Does the car just right, gets onto the throttle, feathers it so he doesn't get extra wheel spin on corner exit. Turn 3 and turn 4 look just fine to me. Turn 5, the long kink, sets you up for turn 6. You got to get the car all the way back over to the right-hand side for the next chicane. Again, maximizing your exits here is imperative as Jaden Harrison uses all the track that he's bought and paid for here on iRacing. Underneath the Dodge Dart Bridge. And getting postured for the hairpin of turn 10. This is the part that I'm curious about. Full wheel lock. Get the car rotated. Slams down the throttle. No extra wheel spin there. No oversteer moments. He's looking calm, cool, and collected. Leaves Kadeem Mohammed behind him. 1.5 seconds is the current gap. Moves all the way over to the left-hand side for turn 13 and turn 14's entry. Moves all the way over to the barrier for turn 14. No fear at all of that wall of champions. And that'll be a lap around the Canadian Grand Prix. And perhaps that will actually be Jaden Harrison's demise right now, is that wall of champions, as so aptly put. Because he's done so well, he might join the likes of Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, and Jacques Villeneuve, who all crashed into it during the 1999 race weekend. Monet Duploy within half a second of Adi Nagel. And remember, Nagel has got a substantial amount of side pod damage there from that incident where he spun out and collected Declan Daniel. Daniel is back on track. Oh, he is not back on track. I apologize. He is out of this race, 6 laps down. Just getting confirmation from race control about that. A darn shame for Declan Daniel. The driver was running well in the championship and deserved more than that. And Julien Narcé trying to chase down Monet Duploy also. 1.4 off the good. And the reason why Addy had such a slow pit stop, excuse me, not a slow pit stop, a slow lap that time of asking, is because he was in the pit lane. Service time of 11.88 seconds, pit lane time of 40.87, so we're looking at around 51 seconds total, transient included, in that pit lane time. And if Addy was able to get that vehicle repaired, he should escape the clutches of Monet Duploy. Jaden Harrison crosses the line, 137.371. Man is on a rampage right now and increasing that gap between himself and the driver behind. Want to throw out there as well, prizes are Steam vouchers for the top 5. $30 for P1, $25 for P2, $20 for P3, $15 for P4, and $10 for P5. Monet Duploy taking to pit lane, trying to get an undercut on the rest of the field. Julien Narcisse will get by him there. And Monet will inherit P last for now. Addy with a 139.2, Narcisse with a 141.249. And this is where the race starts to get negated a little bit. Look at Jayden Harrison get up on 2 wheels there as he slaloms through the chicane. $137.38, $137.37 for Kadim Mohammed. So keeping up pace with Jayden Harrison right now, but it's a 3.4 second gap. That is a huge margin to make up during the pit lane cycle. And we just approached the halfway point of this event, so expect to see the drivers decide to come down pit road sooner rather than later, folks. Arundel on a bit of an island by himself, 8 seconds back from Kadim Mohammed out in P2, 3 seconds back to Giannis Constantine. And Mr. Constantine, who we haven't talked about too much during this event, number 74 from Romania. Is that a quiet but deadly race? Calm, cool, and collected the entire time, working his way through the pack battle. And is up into 4th. Julien Narcisse out of pit lane now will come out right in front of Jayden Harrison and Kadim Mohammed, who are just about to cross the line behind us. But I think he's well far ahead enough to not get blue flagged currently. 137.280 will be the new fastest lap of the event. 138.201 for Kadim Mohammed the last lap around. Louis Benny into pit lane. Let's see where he comes out in relation to Monet Duploy. Getting right up against the wall, the entrance of the final chicane. Louis Benny still in the pits, it looks like. He's been in there for a very long time. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened to Louis Benny here. Just went off track on the previous occasion, but nothing to report as far as incidences or crashes. Louis Benny is rolling once again. Out of pit lane this time. And Monet Duploy inherits P6. in front of Julien Arce and Louis Benny, the driver in 6th place. Looking pretty good. Up 1 position from where he started in P7, Julien Arce started at the back of the pack, worked his way up into 7th now. Yannis Constantine started in 6th, now sitting in 4th position. Airedale up 1, Yannis Constantine up 2, Adi Nagel down 2. When they deploy up 1, Julien Arce up 2 himself. Louis Benny right where he started this race in P8, so no harm, no foul there. Jaden Harrison into the pits. Kadeem Mohammed comes back around one more time. And the driver from Barbados inherits the lead of the race. And Jaden Harrison finally stops to get their service. And a slower than usual pit lane time shown there on the left-hand side of your screen. Jaden Harrison, 41.4 compared to Addy and Monet Duploy with sub-41s. Interestingly enough, maybe perhaps exercising a little bit of caution there. But the DWR SimCoach Setups driver is in P4. And we'll expect to see Kadeem Mohammed down pit road in just a little bit of time. Let's take a look at the gaps to see where Kadeem could potentially come out in relation to the rest of the field. Only a 20-second gap, and we're seeing around 55-second pit stop time. So Kadeem Mohammed has got to get this one pitch perfect if he wants to inherit the lead of the race on the pit lane wall. But there is Jaden Harrison coming into the final chicane now. There's the pit time on the left-hand side of your screen. Jaden Harrison re-inherits the lead of this event. Kadeem Mohammed on pit exit, 12.3 seconds stationary. And 43-second transient for Kadeem Mohammed opens the gap even further to Jaden Harrison right now. And that will conclude the pit stop calls for this event. It should, at least, barring any mistakes or breaks in vehicles. Julien Arce back into P8. Louis Benny, his next victim, up the road by under a second. Driver from the Cayman Islands driving the number 3 car. Best lap from Julien Arce, 141.25. Don't think he has the pace to catch back up to Louis Benny as the gap opens up to 1.6, 1.7 seconds now. Yellow flag shown for Yannis Constantine, but not seeing any incidences pop up. So perhaps just a quick off-track moment and back onto the racing surface. Yannis Constantine, the number 74 driver from Romania, doing a great job of keeping it calm, cool, and collected up to on the good of today. .5 seconds gap from Jaden Harrison to Kadeem Mohammed. Last laps around being 139.7 for Jaden Harrison, and Kadeem Mohammed won the 137.7. Wonder what happened to Jaden Harrison on that previous lap. That was definitely not his out lap. Keep an eye on the race leader for us, folks. He's finally starting to make some mistakes here. Opening up any opportunity for Kadeem to close down the gap is imperative to Kadeem's championship. Jaden Harrison finished in 3rd place during race number 1 at Imola. Kadeem finished the race in 1st place. So Kadeem technically should still be in the lead of the championship. But time will tell. We still have 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this event by the end of my spiel. And Kadeem can still see blood in the water. Jaden Harrison right in front of him. 137.7 being Jaden Harrison's last lap. Kadeem Mohammed 138.05, so not closing down the gap, but just staying cautious for now. Adding Gilles closing down the gap on Giannis Constantine pretty steadily. The challenge for P4 to remain under threat from Gilles. The South African driver trying to change things up for Team Jesus. Significantly faster on that previous lap by nearly 4 seconds. Oh, there was an off from Gilles. Goes a little too deep and wide. And that'll ruin his run. Under the GoDaddy Bridge we go, though. The gap has opened up to around 2 seconds between Giannis Constantine and Gilles. Beautiful blimp shots there, giving us a clear view and indication of how far away the drivers are from each other currently on the racetrack. Things have gotten a little quieter during this race, folks, but we're still going to keep our eye on this Louis Benny, the Giannis Constantine and Gilles battle as the gap seemingly coming back down, but we've only got 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this event. The gap for the lead not changing whatsoever. We're pretty much setting race pace times 137.9 to 138.6 currently. Julien Arce pushing awfully hard right now. Goes off the racetrack for just a moment, but comes back on relatively smoothly. And Addy is a long way back right now. But Addy does set a personal best, 138.3 compared to a 138.5 from the driver in front of him. 2/10 being the gain. Addy still down 2 positions on the good from where he started this race in P3, now resting in P5. But that hip check into his side panel did not help him any. Trying to cover off the attacking Addy Nagel from behind. Covers off the inside line. Giannis Constantine into turn 10. Holds on to the inside. And Addy has nowhere to attack now. Jaden Harrison starts a new lap, so we will get an additional bonus lap and attempt for all the drivers to get one more passing opportunity done. Over the curbs we go, and cautiously approaching the wall of champions. Addy, though, on the attack. On board with Addy Nagel and Team Jesus. Taking a look at the car in front, trying to posture every which way he can on the approach to turn 10. Getting as close to the driver in front for turn 10 is imperative here. Maximizing those exits is very important now. Dade Harrison crosses the line, will take P1 away from Kadeem Mohammed into P2. Crossing the line next. Then Peter Arundel will be the third place driver. Giannis Constantine still battling it out with Addy. Will he make a late braking lunge here? He tries to go for a move towards turn 13 and 14, but can't quite make it stick. It will be nose to tail for Giannis Constantine and Addy Nagel as they both cross the line with just about a 10th and a half between them. Monet Duploy finishing up his lap just now in 6th place. Following that will be Louis Benny in 7th place, Julian Narcé in 8th place. Oh no! That will be it for Julian Narcé, excuse me, as he crossed the line there. Let's take a look at the points now. Kadeem Mohammed in front of Jaden Harrison by just a handful of points. That's a full handful of 5. My math is mathing. Declan Daniel into P3, down from 2nd place with just 56 points. Monet Duploy, Mr. Consistency with 48, tied with Addy Nagel for 48 points. Julian Arce into 6th place. Louis Benny into 7th. Peter Arundel in 8th. Giannis Constantine in 9th, Andrew Marsan in 10th, Michael Ashe in 11th, Benny Zvetvager in 12th, Joshua Brady in 13th, Deslin Van Gerp in 14th place with 9 points. Looking awfully close still at the tip of the spear, Jaden Harrison and Kadeem Muhammad providing us with all the entertainment we could ask for here at the Sim Racers Room. But the battle for the mid-pack still up for grabs. Monet Duploy with 48 points tied with Adi Nagel. That'll be interesting to see if he can work his way forward. The consistent driver has scored 24 points in both events so far. Adi Nagel obviously doing the same thing this time of asking. We'll be right back, folks. We're going to take a look at the replay in just a few moments' time. But first, we've got to load up the replay and get our drivers in for an interview. So stand by, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much for your patience. There are your standings one more time, folks, as we get the replay loaded up and get some drivers in for their interviews. Well, let's go ahead and grab Peter Arundel first and foremost, the driver in third place overall. Mr. Arundel, wonderful to talk to you again. How was your race? Hold on 1 second. Discord is not picking up your audio for some reason. Fix that very quickly. Now you're saying this was one of your top 4 races you... Oh. Sorry, Mr. Arundel. I believe we have you now. Oh, okay. I believe Mr. Arundel is going to the cooldown room, so maybe we'll grab Kadeem Mohammed instead. Kadeem Mohammed, can you hear me, sir?
Yep.
I have you in the broadcast booth with me right now. Talk to us a little bit about your race that you faced.
Well, I had the qualifying pace, not the race pace, because I was not consistent at all. But I do one good lap, and then the next 3 laps would be a second off. But it was either I take my time and finish, or push hard and crash. So I choose to take my time and finish.
And we could tell here in the booth that you were doing that Jaden Harrison pushing like his life depended on it and setting personal best lap after lap over and over again. But it looked like you were managing the conditions that you were facing. Talk to us about that a little bit as well. Was it too hot? Was it too cold? Was it just right?
No, the conditions were perfect. Just the fact that you're so close to the walls, on the kind of exit, the wall right there. You don't want to hit the wall and get damage or incident points. Then you don't want to cut the curb too much outside of the car, and you can get a slowdown. So I just try to keep it within the track limits always.
Absolutely, for sure, because the track limits are basically barriers, walls, or a track cut basically here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So I think you made the right choice. Now, you're still ahead in the championship. You know that, right?
I am.
Yes. Because you won race number 1 and you came in second during race number 2, Jaden Harrison came in P3 for race number 1 and won race number 2. So you're ahead by 5 points right now, just so you know.
Okay. Well, that makes things a little bit more interesting.
Doesn't it now? It makes things a lot more spicy as far as things go. We have 8 rounds in this championship. We're going to have 6 more races left to go. Thoughts moving forward now?
Oh, I just keep practicing. I can start practicing the next track probably tomorrow. Because what happened, I started practicing this track yesterday. So I was a little bit on the back foot. So I know what to do now. I just got to get a little bit more comfortable with the track earlier to make, qualifying and racing a little bit easier. And I'll be more confident in both the car and the track.
Well, you did a great job of managing the conditions and managing your race for sure. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Is there anybody that you want to thank or anybody that you want to mention before I let you go?
I just shout out to Jaden for being so quick. I'm really testing the limits.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for participating in this event. And we'll talk to you next week. I'm sure about that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, brother. And let's grab Jaden Harrison next, the driver who ended up winning the race and finished up in 3rd position for race number 1. Jaden Harrison, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. J?
Good.
A little bit sweaty, a little bit fatigued. What's the story right now?
Kind of surprised because I didn't really do much practice. But that track was very, very, very difficult. I think he was saying he was just taking his time because he was scared of the track.
And it looked like you were fearless approaching the wall of champions, Jaden. You really were getting that 4-wheeled vehicle turned into a bicycle. You were getting airborne when you attacked some of these curbs. Talk to us about that. You didn't have a lot of practice, but your confidence was obviously there.
Yeah, well, I think I was doing like 38 in practice, and then I think someone got 37, and I'm like, how is this possible? And then I saw the curb, so I guess that was where the most time is on this track, so you just have to attack it hard and hope and pray, because a few times I almost end up in a wall.
Absolutely fearless run of things, Jaden Harrison. You did a great job managing the race from start to finish. You were even attempted to get passed by and went wheel to wheel with Kadeem Mohammed there for a little bit. Did you ever think that the race was slipping out of your hands?
I mean, no, well, I kind of wanted a little bit of like side by side in the race, but I actually got a slowdown from taking too much curb. So I had to like kind of strategically serve that by defending and stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I hope next race will be closer battle.
Absolutely looking forward to a close battle for P1 and P2 at the Circuit Barcelona, Catalunya. Hopefully without the chicane, of course. And we'll be looking forward to a good run of events next week. Is there anybody that you want to thank or anybody that you'd like to mention before I let you go, Jaden Harrison?
Yeah, just good race to everybody for keeping it clean, and thanks to everybody for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to all the participants. Jaden, have a great night. And as always, make sure you stay safe. And we're going to talk to Peter Arundel next. Let's see if we can grab Peter this time of asking. Peter Arundel, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am here now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Apologies about that earlier on, but we're just looking at the battle between yourself, Kadeem Mohammed, and Jaden Harrison, where he had to serve that slowdown. Now, when you saw yourself catching up to this battle, did you have stars in your eyes? Were you seeing stripes? What's going on? What's going through your head?
I was actually, I mean, my whole focus this whole race was just to try and keep the car on the track. And like, oh, no, I have other things to worry about with them. And luckily they pulled a gap again. I was like, okay. But yeah, very tough race. This car is not easy. It's still very tricky for me to drive, but I mean, I'm sticking with it, and I think this experience I'm getting better slowly, but I definitely have to do a little more practice to try and keep up with Kadeem and Jaden.
And I think this is something that someone brought up. It might have been you last week when I brought them into the interview booth. This is definitely a car that's going to make everybody a better driver, right? Where
Yeah, definitely.
it improves your racecraft, it improves your tenacity, it improves your quick hands. I mean, there's so many variables here to driving the Porsche Cup, you know, especially these 992s. So I think this is just a great championship to be part of, and hopefully you feel the same way about it.
I definitely think this is helping me with my driving in other cars, and even if I want to step into this car in official races later on, at least I have this practice, and actual race practice to help me with that as well. So very happy for this year.
Great points, Mr. Arundel. Is there anything in your race that you'd like to mention that happened that we may not have seen on stream? It seemed like you were quiet but deadly, just plucking away at P3 the entire time.
Yeah, I just had a couple little bumps into the wall. I guess it was a little bit of damage, but not enough that it caused me to be any slower. But I was wary every lap. A few of those corners, you come out very close to the wall, and it had me sweating the whole race.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Mr. Arundel. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or anybody that you'd like to mention before we conclude the stream?
Definitely want to thank my wife and kids, and also the organizers of this series. Thank them for putting this on. So it's a lot of fun, very challenging, but enjoyable at the same time.
Absolutely. Good shout out to the organizers at the Sim Racers Room for putting this championship together, as well as providing us with prizes. The top 5 are going to get Steam gift cards. Looking forward to that reward there, Peter.
I'm here. I'm not really looking forward to a prize would be fantastic. I'm really wanting to improve my driving, so that's why I'm really here. Whether I get one or not, I think the benefit of the experience, especially with all these really quick guys in the races, I think that's worth more than anything else. So, but I'll be happy to get one for sure.
Right on. Thank you so much for joining me in the broadcast booth, Peter. We'll close things out here in just a few moments. Have a wonderful night, and as always, stay safe, brother.
Yep, you too. Thank you very much.
And that's going to close things out for us, folks. We had Peter Arundel, we had Kadeem Mohammed, and we had Jaden Harrison in the booth with us. And it's been a wonderful time, as always, to be able to broadcast this wonderful event, this wonderful championship. Shout out again to the wonderful staff at the Sim Racers Room for putting this on, providing prizes for the top 5 drivers. If you want to get involved, if you want to slice of the pie, if you want to be on screen as well, make sure you check out the Sim Racers Room Discord to get involved, or look them up on iRacing, the platform in which we're racing on. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff, folks. Really appreciate the support you guys give in chat. Any comments are much appreciated. If you missed the race, make sure you check out the VODs or the YouTube shorts where we highlight some of the best overtaking opportunities and some of the biggest spills and thrills in sim racing. I'm Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag for another wonderful week with the Sim Racers Room. Have a wonderful night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye.